Patterns over promises, ladies. Remember that, patterns over promises, because no matter how many times they apologize, how many times they promise they will change, it's the patterns, it's the behavior, the repetitiveness of that behavior that is the truth. And how many times? Look at your life and look at your past and tell me that that isn't accurate. Welcome to the Girl Don't Settle YouTube channel. I'm so glad you're here. Today we're going to talk about the tips that I have for finding a true healthy relationship, okay? And I have learned these tips over the years. I am 34 years old. I have been through a lot of relationships, and many good and many bad. And I used to be a serial dater, which I believe I could have possibly been a love addict. I was in love with the newness of the relationship and the excitement of the beginning of a relationship. And so once that was over, I ditched the relationship and then I moved on to the next. Well, I dated a lot of guys that weren't so great for me over the years. And as I got older, I started to realize this pattern and I removed it. I did a lot of inner work and healing from past trauma in order to start to shift and change the way that I date. And I learned that I had certain patterns and behaviors that were truly unhealthy and which led me to date unhealthy men. I ignored all the red flags and continued on just because I felt good in the moment. But let me tell you, ladies, that doesn't lead to anything good or healthy or happy. And in the end, it ends up ending the relationship anyways. So why waste your time? If you're older now and you're like, Andrea, I want to stop wasting my time on these unhealthy relationships, unhappy and unfulfilling relationships, while you're in the right place, because I have tips for you and we are going to start on them right now. Number one on this list is stop ignoring red flags, ladies. Stop ignoring the red flags. The red flags are your subconscious saying, hey, alerting you, letting you know that you need to look at this, okay? Red flags are there to protect you. Red flags are there to show you when there's something amiss. So do not ignore the red flags. It's so easy when you're falling for someone, when you're enjoying your time with someone, to ignore the blatant red flags that are right in front of you. But it's very important that we take responsibility for assessing the red flags that do come up, especially at the beginning, okay? Because everyone is on their best behavior when you're first meeting someone in the first few months. Everyone's on their best behavior. So if there's already red flags, then it's probably something that you're going to want to look into. So ladies, do not ignore the red flags. Believing patterns over promises. So if you see a pattern that is resurfacing over and over again with this person, and it's not something that's pleasant, it's not something that you like, it's a little bit disturbing, whatever it is, it doesn't feel right. And they make up excuses as to why they're doing it, or they say they'll do better next time, but they don't. Stop making excuses for them. And stop listening to their excuses if it continues to be a pattern. Patterns over promises, ladies. Remember that, patterns over promises, because no matter how many times they apologize, how many times they promise they will change, it's the patterns, it's the behavior, the repetitiveness of that behavior that is the truth. And how many times? Look at your life and look at your past and tell me that that isn't accurate, right? How many times have we made up excuses for someone or believed them when they said they would change, but they never changed? This is especially alarming if it's the beginning of a relationship. Like I said, everyone's on their best behavior at the beginning of a relationship. And so if things like this are happening right off the bat, then it is definitely a red flag. It is definitely concerning. Okay? If they have a behavior or pattern that keeps resurfacing, listen to it and believe it, okay? If it doesn't suit you, if it's not good for your relationship, if it's not something you agree with, if it's not something you enjoy or something you like, or if it's, if it's affecting you negatively, or if it just doesn't align with your values, your core values, then say bye-bye. Do it now before you end up in a longer relationship where now you are feeling more stuck and it's harder to leave later down the line, ladies. So, if there's red flags and they are non-negotiable, and be honest with yourself, you need to walk away. Okay, if you are here watching this video and you want a healthy relationship, this is a very huge deal. Don't ignore the red flags. Number 2 on the list is stop lowering your standards, ladies. Stop lowering your standards, okay? Put your standards high because you are worthy and you deserve it. If you're not there yet and you don't feel enough love for yourself, enough confidence, and you don't believe in your worth as of yet, then maybe you shouldn't be in the dating world. Maybe it's a good idea to remain single for the time being and do the inner work and self-reflection work that you need to do for yourself, because you deserve that. You deserve to love yourself first. And out of anyone, I know this for a fact, you need to be in a good headspace. You need to love yourself and know your worth before you can attract a healthy and long-term, sustainable, happy relationship. Okay? You need to know that you are worthy of an amazing, brilliant love. And until you know that, you have no business in the dating world. And if you are ready and you do know your worth and you have standards put in place and you keep dating potential guys who you like the idea of them, but again, you're ignoring the red flags because you're too busy daydreaming about how you can see them in your life, how you dream of them being, but they haven't really shown you that yet. You can see the potential in them, but they're not showing you any of these dream qualities that you're looking for. But maybe you like the way they kiss. Maybe you have a lot of good laughs with them and they're fun to be around, but they don't meet your other standards. They don't meet your other criteria. I mean, if they're missing one or two, that's okay. But I mean, ladies, let's be honest. You have to be honest. Dating in a healthy manner is an honesty game. You have to be blunt, you have to be honest, you have to be self-aware, and you have to know what you want. So stop dating potential and your idea of that person and start dating the actual person. Start really taking a hard look at who they are and decide if they are what you are looking for, not can they be what you are looking for. Oh, maybe in a year or two, or maybe, I could see the potential that he has or she has. No, you either have it or you don't. You're either in the right place in your life in that moment to be together, or you're not. Stop dating the dream version of the person. Number 3 on the list is having a list of things that you want from your potential partner is very, very important. Okay, so a few years ago when me and my ex broke up, and after I got sober and I started to do a lot of personal development work, I knew that, finding a partner to enjoy this life with was a big thing for me, and I really wanted that. Okay, so what I did was I took out my notepad and I wrote out a list of qualities that I am looking for in a partner. And I mean, if you've dated for any length of time, you probably already have an idea of what you don't want and what you do want, because you might have had a partner who had a certain quality that you absolutely dreaded or absolutely did not like, and it did not click with you, then that could be on your do not want list. But you need to write a list of what you do want as well. And for me, it was things like a family man, someone who is close with his mother or his family, someone who is giving, someone who is outgoing because I'm a little bit more shy, someone who is adventurous and loves to travel, someone who has goals and dreams and aspirations, just like I do, someone who is driven, right? So these are all things that I learned that I wanted. Some of these qualities my ex had, and some of these qualities my exes didn't have, right? But through those relationships, I really did start to realize what I am definitely looking for. And the older you get, the easier this gets. So if you're in your early 20s, this is still doable. You could still, you do know what you want. And if you're looking for a partner and that's why you're watching this video, then you should know what you want, okay? But as you get older, you will find that each relationship teaches you something. And usually that is what you do and what you do not want from your next partner. So getting clear on what you want. And again, some of those might be non-negotiable. Number 4 on the list is stick to your non-negotiables. So some of the items on your want list might be non-negotiable, and non-negotiables are very important to know. For me, if you know anything about my story, I left my ex-fiance because he decided he didn't want to have children. After we planned our whole wedding, he decided, for once and for all, he did not want to have children. And unfortunately, that was a non-negotiable for me, and he knew that, and we already had discussed this. So I inevitably had to walk away from someone who I truly loved and was going to spend the rest of my life with because, girl, I don't settle. And I'm not looking to settle, especially when it comes to non-negotiables. You need to know your non-negotiables. What are some things that you need to have in a partner? And you need to have those written down, or at least at the top of your mind when you're dating, when you're in the dating world. You want to have those on top of mind. And I'm not saying ask those questions on the first date, but you really want to make sure you get the answers you need in the first couple of weeks before you start to waste your time or the other person's time. Non-negotiables could be things like religious views. They could be, whether you want to have children or not, where you want to live. If there's something that you are hell-bent on and you are very serious about and that you can't negotiate in your life, then you need to know what those are, and you need to have those conversations early on in the relationship, because you don't want to be like me and waste 3 years. But the thing is with me, I did know that he didn't want children, but I went against my rule number 1 and ignored the red flags. I ignored the red flags when he would beg for me back and tell me he did want to have children with me. I chose to believe that over, the obvious, which was that he wasn't ready and he didn't want to have children and he was never going to want to have children, because I was blinded by love and, I loved him. I chose to ignore the red flags, ladies. So again, I know what I'm talking about, and I don't want you to do the same thing. So just make sure you know your non-negotiables and don't settle for less than those. Number 5 on the list is work on yourself. Do the inner work. Do the self-love work. Like I said, if you're not in a great place and you don't feel confident, you don't feel like you deserve a beautiful relationship and a healthy relationship, if you're still holding on to maybe limiting beliefs that love isn't available to you, true, happy, healthy love isn't available to you, you need to look at those limiting beliefs and you need to work on them. If this is something that you feel you can use some help with, you can always reach out to me. I am a reinvention mentor and an empowerment coach. I like to empower you to really take back control of your life. And oftentimes this is through looking at our limiting beliefs and working on removing them so that we can stop having these blocks. I actually also have a quiz on my website. If you go to AndreaClementCoaching.com, right on the homepage, if you just scroll down a bit, there's a quiz right there. It's absolutely free. And if you take this quiz, it'll tell you what your limiting belief is that is holding you back. Okay. And with that, if you provide your email, I will send you a few emails explaining in detail what this means, and also giving you some tips and advice on how you can start to abolish those limiting beliefs. Okay, so if you feel like you have some limiting beliefs there, whether it's around love or anything else, okay, anything that's kind of blocking, if you're feeling stuck in any area of your life, this quiz is really ideal to take, and I would really suggest trying it out. If you want help with, your limiting beliefs around your love life, or anything else, you can always DM me, reach out to me. You can find me in the Girl Don't Settle Facebook group, or on Instagram, also Girl Don't Settle. I would love to see you. All the links will be below. And yeah, so looking at your limiting beliefs that might be holding you back, knowing your worth, working on your worthiness, having those affirmations daily, doing those affirmations daily, and building up your worthiness so that when you do meet someone who is a potential partner for you, you are in a good state of mind. And when you do start to date someone, you are also healthy. Because if you're looking for a healthy relationship, you must be healthy. And that's emotionally and mentally. You need to be emotionally available, emotionally ready, right? Because things like jealousy can creep in, or things like insecurities can get in the way, and things like ignoring red flags and settling for less than, which is completely what I'm against, because when we don't know our worth, we settle for less than what we deserve. When all reality, we all deserve a beautiful, brilliant love. We all deserve respect and happiness and joy, and to date our best friend. But we must believe it, right? For us, in order for us to attract it, and in order for us to find that person for us, and in order for us to keep that person in our lives, we need to believe that we deserve it. And ladies, all too often we feel like we don't deserve it. And this could be because of something that happened to us in the past. It could be from childhood. It can be from a relationship. It can be from mental or physical abuse in a past relationship. There's so many things that leave us feeling like we are unworthy of happy and healthy relationships. Or maybe we had parents that, didn't have the greatest relationship and weren't the best role models when it comes to love, okay? But again, we are adults now. We can take back control of our own lives, and we get to decide what we get to have, and we get to decide the life that we want, and we get to decide what we deserve, and we get to decide if we want to heal and grow. So I beg you to do the inner work, because that's where it all comes together, and that's when things really start to align, and that's when you will find true, authentic, happy, and healthy love. And that's what we're here for, right? So number 6 on the list is visualization. I know this might sound weird, but honestly, visualization is good for all areas of your life and for any type of goal or dream that you have. Athletes use it all the time. Celebrities use it. I've used it. If you just type in visualization in YouTube, you will find tons of videos on it. And if you type it in Google, you'll find tons of articles, and you'll find that I talk about it a lot in my videos. And that is because it has worked for me. I've seen it work in my own life, and I truly, honestly believe in it. If you believe in the law of attraction, if you believe in quantum physics, that's what visualization is all about, okay? So having a vision and holding on to that vision and visualizing it daily. I like to do visualization just before bed when I'm in an alpha, relaxed state. And whatever it is that my next goal is, I try not to be too broad. I try not to visualize a whole life scenario, but rather a particular scenario, a particular change that I want to make, a particular goal or dream, okay? So if in this case, it's you finding a healthy, happy, beautiful, romantic relationship, then every night before you go to bed, close your eyes and visualize what that would look like, okay? If you want to visualize this gentleman opening the door for you in the car when you get out to go to a restaurant on a beautiful date, and you can envision the entire day. You can envision him, caressing your cheek or holding your hand. Or maybe you're visualizing more long term and you want to visualize, a partner, and you're in in your home and in the morning you're making a smoothie together and he kisses you on the forehead. Whatever it is, whatever you envision. And I'm not trying to say like be super Disney about it and super cheesy about it. I'm not saying that, but the qualities that you wrote in your list of qualities that you're looking for, visualize those things, but also visualize the little gestures that you're looking for, if that's what you're looking for. If you don't care about that kind of stuff, then visualize what it is that you do care about. Maybe you care about it being like a manly man and he's like under the hood of the car, you know, fixing your car and with a smile on his face. Whatever it is that your vision is in a man, visualize it, but also visualize the healthy aspects of it, because we are looking for healthy and happy relationships. Okay, so try to visualize the healthy aspects. That's why I said, you know, the blender, you know, making the smoothie in the morning, and you know, maybe you guys go for a jog in the morning, or maybe it's just a healthy relationship in the aspect of how he treats you. So just visualize how he treats you. The more detail here, the better. And number 7 on my list today is try not to give it up on the first date. We've all heard this before. You know, sometimes it gets easy if you're really having a strong connection with someone. Maybe you've met them before, but this is your first date and you're having a really strong connection. Maybe you're having a few drinks. I mean, in my case, I don't drink. And a lot of the women who follow my channel do not drink. But if you are a drinker and say you're letting a little loose, and whether you're a drinker or not, and you're just letting a little loose and you find that you've had an amazing night and you have this amazing chemistry and connection with this person, and you know, you end up alone with them and you're making out and things are starting to get carried away and you feel you might you might go into bed with this person, I would suggest to try your very best to stop yourself from being alone with that person in a bedroom or a sexual setting, but also just try your best not to let it get that far on your first date or two, because oftentimes as women, we get attached to men. Biologically, we attach to men that we sleep with, and this can really fog your view and fog your vision of this person. You know, this can be a deterrent from seeing the red flags later on in the relationship, because you might just get attached if you have sex with this guy early on in the relationship. And not only that, as we've all heard before, men like a chase, right? And most healthy relationships will start off by waiting a little bit and, you know, getting to know someone better before giving it up, because this gives you guys time to really build that rapport and to really see what each other are looking for. If you're just looking for sex, then I mean, you're probably watching the wrong video. But if you're looking for a long-term healthy partnership, then I would suggest trying your best. I mean, in some circumstances, it just happens and it's inevitable and it could still be a healthy, happy relationship. But in most cases, you want to hold off because, like I said, 1, your vision of this person can become clouded, and 2, you want to build that respect and you want to give them a little bit of a chase, right? You want to get to know them a little bit better. You will thank me later, because oftentimes when you get to know someone a little bit better, it also makes the sex better because you are more comfortable and, you know, there's more of a connection there by the time you actually do sleep together. So that's what I'm going to leave you here with today. I hope that these 7 tips really helped you out, and I hope that you will take my advice. I hope that you will visualize your Prince Charming. And if you have any other questions about this, please do not hesitate to contact me. You can comment below. I would love to hear from you, or you can find me on other social media platforms. The links will be below. I hope that you are happy and healthy right now as you are. I hope that you will do the inner work needed to get you to a place where you can attract this healthy, beautiful, exotic, romantic partnership. And I believe in you, so I hope you believe in yourself too. You deserve everything that your heart desires. Beautiful. I hope that you will see it. I love you. Have a great day. Bye. Mwah.